Right time the camera cut, I would stick to the road. Like, oh, I got the oh no! I keep. This is gonna be cutting it kind of close. Anyways, she was a thief on the Enterprise using the vent system. Found a nice little hole, stashing her stuff there. So finally, to catch her, they flew close to a planet and decided to beam this unknown entity using the life support systems that they have. They managed to track where she was. They beamed her and a couple of the crewmen down, but they were unaware of what kind of planet it was. It was, as it turns out, it was actually a very hostile planet. What? 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 I will come over there and I will bitch slap you. What do you mean? Pity I couldn't get out of it. Where's that wagon? Where are you at? I'm gonna come punch you. Anyways, a hostile planet, and I think I had an arc crossover because a couple of the creatures were very dinosaur-like. There was a tyrannosaur type thing, except it had arms. Like, I know a tyrannosaur has arms, but it had long arms. like, you know, it could switch between walking on all fours and kind of like the Spinosaur can, but not that. Get on top of the rock. Thank you. The raptor looked the same as well, what people assume to be a regular raptor, but I am sorry. It's just somehow they were different also. Cause like there were what I assumed to be compies, but they were a lot larger. Like, I mean, a lot larger. They were roughly about the size of a wolf, rather than the little itty bitty things that people see them as in movies and in games and stuff. And for some reason, everything could walk on all fours. Like, well, the compies actually did not. But they could hunch down, you know, they could crouch and walk like that. But the raptors could walk on all fours for a very short amount of time. I mean, they couldn't, you know, use that as a main mode of transportation, but they could, but kind of like how the opposite of a bear walking on its hind legs. They could walk on all fours, but not for very long. The Rex was the one that got me, because it could switch back and forth just no problem. That one was really the weirdest one. Anyways, it switched to the perspective of the Cheshire, the cyborg Cheshire, which was really weird. And like I had said, he had part of his brain redone as a computer, like a supercomputer, but he forgot a lot of stuff as a living being, but he could also learn a lot of stuff. He was basically having to relearn it. Think of kind of like a cross between Data and Spock. That's the feeling I got from him. It was, and let me tell you, I'm not making this up. This was an actual dream that I had. Dream. Like, dream. My brain comes up with some of the most fucked up stuff when I am asleep. Okay, so he was kind of like a cross between Data and Spock and the Cheshire. He had the powers of the Cheshire, but he thought logically like Spock, but he was an android. So that was... I was supposed to be sitting on the stool, not... Thank you. I'm gonna just wait here since my thing is almost done. So he was down there. He got separated from the other crew members because yes, he was a minor crew member of the Starship Enterprise. And why I started dreaming about the Enterprise at all is beyond me. And yes, by the way, Rita did actually steal from Spock and Kirk. I can't remember. It's like little small trinkets that she could easily snatch, and it would take them a hot minute to find out. Her mistake actually did not come from stealing from Spock. It actually came from when she stole from Bones. Or caught wind of a thief, anyways. But anyways. So, she was... Okay, so the Cheshire was... They all got separated from each other. And a flash storm came. And disrupted the ability to speak to the ship. They couldn't beam, they couldn't speak to anybody. They got separated. Well, the storm, like, they had noticed that the creatures were running about getting to shelter. Like, any kind of shelter they could find. So each one decided they should follow suit. And this is when it kind of switched over to Red Dead-ish style, because that's what the landscape looked like. Like, the creatures were from Ark, but the landscape was Red Dead. Because there were signs of previous life, like recent, semi-modern, like Red Dead modern. There were abandoned structures, like you find in Red Dead. There was a bridge, and that's where the Cheshire went. He went up under the bridge because it was mostly closed in. Where's... That's interesting. Like, oh, I know we're not that far from a bridge. Oh, we actually are. Uh, fuck it. Oh wait, no, we came down from one. Don't ask me why I keep running off without the horse. I just don't think about getting on the horse all the time. I'm used to games where the horse is actually useless. Okay, so he didn't. Okay, it wasn't like under here, but it actually under the bridge actually looked more like here, except there were cross beams and stuff. Like that. So, like, picture as that being the bottom of the bridge. Like, from here to here, that red section, and up, that was the bottom of the bridge. So, he got under there. Well, he suddenly realized his mistake had been thinking that that would be a safe spot, because that's where... God, I hate this place when it storms. I'm gonna wait till the storm passes to do anything. Anyways, I'm sorry. Storms. I keep getting flashbacks of the storms in real life that I've seen, and they were scary as fuck to me. So my thought keeps getting interrupted. There we go. Ew, why is that up there? So, anyways, right before the storm hit, a bunch of the compies and raptors came through, and he had to basically fight them off because they kept trying to get at him and stuff. Well, about the time he thought he was up high enough, because he had gotten far enough over the... I think it was more of a gully type thing. Like, it had been a very deep river, but it was dried up. He got far enough to where they couldn't reach him, and they were having a hard time climbing through the support beams and stuff. But that's when a Rex's head came crashing down through the top of the bridge and actually whacked him on the back of the head. Which actually was not fatal, but it fried his circuits temporarily. Because the back of his brain is the part that had been replaced with the cybernetics, or the computer part. He was knocked out. Well, before the things could eat him, which they were sniffing him because he didn't smell like something completely edible. He smelled strange. That's when a flash flood came. Washed him over a waterfall, but even though my dream shifted to where I could see his body falling, halfway down it disappears. Like the waterfall kind of spurts out partway and it disappears. Switches to Ritza. She was actually climbing up the waterfall because she had heard the commotion, and she caught him in her mouth, which he was conscious enough to realize that he was in something's mouth, but he couldn't do anything about it, so he was kind of paralyzed, freaking out. And let me tell you, I used to have, I'm like, not permanently paralyzed, but the chemical in your brain that keeps your body still is overproduced, and you wake up paralyzed. That's a scary ass feeling, let me tell you. So I can understand why that part was in there. Anyways, he just passes out, finally. I need that money. Fuck it, I'll do the local when ramen and get on. So, he comes to, he's laying in a part, is partway cave-like. Like a lot of stuff is made out of stone. There's furniture and wooden, like, the floor is wood, and the part of this, what he's looking at, what should have been the ceiling, is wood. Which it's technically the floor above him that he's looking at. So it's like a 2-story cave, I guess. I don't know. It's a cave, but it's got it's like somebody built into the cave part of a house. Not sure what it's. I think there's a term for that, but I don't know. Anyways, so he's looking at that. She starts talking to him, asking him the basic questions. Who are you? What are you? You don't smell human. Where do you come from? You're one of those spacemen hunting for me. She basically says, what is that? I can't tell if that's a... okay. You can have it. Why are you making me run the long way around? There's a shorter, easier route to do this. Take me on that route. Please. Anyways. So then she starts asking him if he was really counted as a man, because he was, you know, mostly android. Bridge about like that, by the way. And she starts asking him more and more personal questions like that. And he actually gets frustrated with her calling him a fake man. Or basically saying he was less of a man because of the fact that he was part android. Or because he was an android or something like that. I'm not sure if he was counted as a cyborg or an android. I can't remember. I gave up trying to go the shorter route. Anyways, so and this entire time that she was talking to him, she's been hidden. He can only hear her. But he finally says, why don't you come down from where you're hiding? He actually calls out where she's actually hiding, meaning he could see her or sense her or whatever it is he did. And he said, I'll show you. She said, I'm impressed. He said, yes, and remove your suit as well, and I will show you. To which she freaks out. She says, no, she basically apologizes. Well, she can tell she means it, but she apologizes. He can tell she's freaked out, she's scared, suddenly, because she doesn't take her suit off for anybody, except for when she's asleep. But because he's a Cheshire, and he's got certain powers that other Fey creatures do not, because in this world apparently a Cheshire was considered a Fey creature. I am sorry. And I know it's taken me a long time to tell the story. I'm focused on a lot of things at once. He actually figures out how to get her suit off. He had technically been studying it ever since they found her life signal aboard the ship. But he was able to figure out how to get it off, and he proceeds to show her. He proceeds to show her that yeah, he can function as a full man. And that just because he was forcibly turned into mostly cyborg, that did not take away from who he was. He forgot a lot of stuff, but there was a lot he remembered. There was actually more to the dream than that, but all of that to say, I have some of the most fucked up dreams ever. I had a dream about a rattlesnake Jake Naga form from Rango, the movie Rango. I had a dream about a it was a xenomorph, but partway human. Not like the one in the movie. Like the not in the sense, not like in the movie, like literally he was half human, half like he had from the torso up human, but still had the alien arms, and basically he had a human head and torso, and his limbs were more like the alien, and he had spikes and coloration, all this, that, and the other. Part of his forehead was had kind of like that shell type exoskeleton on it. It made him look like he was wearing a visor. The only detail I will tell about that is that he was actually kind of a cool character. He was extraordinarily empathetic, and he had extraordinarily powerful psychic abilities. Not like future reading, like telepathic abilities, telepathic, not psychic. And he had like super sensitive touch. Like his whole body could pick up on even the slightest vibrations. Like if you were from here to that windmill, he would be able to feel that windmill turning. He could feel sound. He could feel changes in the temperature, changes in the air pressure. Don't ask me how that translated into dream, but it was still a cool concept. And I think all this ties into the fact that it reminds me I'm fucking lonely. But to be honest, I can't really remember how I got started on this conversation. Really don't. And I know nobody is ever gonna care about it. Third sage, train clerk. That should have already been done. Cooked seasoned venison and desert sage. Cooked seasoned desert sage. 5 desert sage and a train clerk. I had asked my sister about, did she think there was somebody meant for everybody? You know, us being Christian, I asked her, do you think God made somebody for everybody? She said no. I said, well, obviously, people who prefer to be alone, no, they wouldn't. Son of a bitch! Oh, it's pissing me off. Anyways, obviously those people who prefer solitaire, because she used Paul as her example. She said Paul never had a spouse. I said, yeah, but did Paul ever want one? She said, not really, no. From the way he talked in his writings, no, he didn't. At least that's what we're thinking. So I said, well, what about those who want somebody? She said no, and it would probably just be a no, because it was more of a distraction away from God. Now keep in mind, this is somebody who has severe germophobia, and who has found out she's quite happy alone. But the way I look at it is, and I say that part because I should have known better than to ask her for advice on anything related to relationship advice. The way I look at it is this. I'm the type of person, and I know there are other people with this personality type. excuse me. I like to share everything that I possibly can. You know, that's kind of why I tell stories like I do, even though I know probably nobody is ever going to appreciate them. They're there for whenever somebody just wants background noise, or on the off chance somebody's interested. They're there. But I like to share. I like to do things for people. I like to be nice. And I look at it like, surely, because I want to have somebody that I can be affectionate to. I want to be affectionate. I want to, you know, be supportive of somebody. That just ties in back to the conversation about being a sword and board, a sword and shield. You know, I don't think I was designed. I think I was designed like this to be part of a team. I told, because I contacted an old schoolmate of mine who, believe it or not, he used to pick on me, and he was friends with people who picked on me. I mean, he himself was never that bad, but he still made a couple of snide comments at me. Enough to where I was nervous around him. Turned around, complete 180. He's a preacher now. He's a preacher. He's married, got three kids. Married, 3 kids. What's the other one? But I reached out to him, spoke with him, and he agreed. As far as the relationship goes, people are come in 2 classes. As far as the relationship goes, there are those, you can compare them to horses. Domesticated horses, by the way. They work better by themselves with just the saddle or whatever it is that they do. And there are horses that are utilized better in a harness with another horse or a team horse. Shit. But I believe I was meant to be one of those team players, you know. I can possibly function okay by myself, but I fully believe I would function so much better as part of a team. Uh, I keep wanting to fast travel back to camp so I can drop this damn thing off, but I think if I fast travel I will lose it. Why didn't I think of that? I'm sorry, I I know at this rate I will probably never become a popular YouTuber. And that's okay. Let's look at that. Oh, it... Really? 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 Really?
You blind, huh? Wow, come on. Just let me go.
How the fuck? I can promise you I do not suck this bad at driving. Trying to get him caught on that corner so he'll just... There we go. I want to know why the fuck my gun ain't doing what it's supposed to do. Also, on the off chance that anybody ever sees this who knows how to get in touch with ICP and IC Chores, or no, sorry, IGP, the famous YouTubers who play the scary games and all of that. If you happen to know how to get in touch with them, tell them that I think IC sounds absolutely adorable, and I think it's actually cute that he gets to where he's at cowardly. I don't know why. I think it's adorable. Then again, you all know I'm weird by now. Anyways, I'm not gonna bore y'all much longer because I'm spacing out. And again, I'm sorry. I kept getting distracted trying to tell a story. I made it a lot more boring than it was supposed to be. I will hopefully talk to y'all later.